The napalm mortar that violates all the legal agreements between the nations to stop using the weapon because of its burning properties. It literally burns through anything in the matter of seconds. Just look at this smug genocidal smile. Hello gamers, my name is KK and today we will be playing the War Crimes Challenge. Not all the monkeys are really good, and today we will find out which of them are the latent war criminals that are disgusting, that kill without any code of honor, and they don't think that war is the place for dignity. Instead, they think that war is the savage place where bodies just die and there is no rules to be abided by. So, in this challenge, we have this specific set of rules. Basically, the worse war crimes the towers commit, the better these towers are in our pool. So, we need to place at least each of the war criminals. PSI is a homicidal maniac who mind controls his enemies and forces them to explode by shaking uncontrollably. The war crime number 1. But there is a catch. This is the chimps mode, of course, and we need to place all of them, but either we place it and make it until tier 4 or until the war crime upgrade path, or until we spend $5,000 on the tower. So this is the rules of the challenge, and we begin with Etienne and the submarine, of course. Here it's kinda, it was very surprising to me to know and think that how many crimes actually Bloons commit. The nuclear weaponry, the napalms, the road spikes, the caltrops, basically so much stuff. And also interesting thing is the magic and dark magic, and you never really think about how bad and how horrible Bloons are being treated by the monkeys. Monkeys don't stop in front of anything. They use dirty tactics, they use the forbidden weaponry, the biological weapons, the chemical weapons, the fire weapons, the explosions, the nukes, pretty much everything. The darts. Look, usually darts are not the war crime, but the brutality with which they create and manufacture their weapons is surprisingly very, very brutal. Boomerang monkey that uses the boomerangs with the bladed tips in the shape of a hook that rip out the flesh of his enemies. War crime number 2. So, about the heroes. PSI is one of the cruelest heroes in the game. You already know why, but I wanna elaborate more on this. The secret scientific technology of napalm grapes burns with the temperature of 1000 degrees Celsius to eviscerate the flesh of his enemies. War crime number 3. PSI is the maniac who mind controls the enemies. And now we're placing the freaking mortar. These are very dangerous things. In the world agreements, like after World War II, there were agreements that prohibit the freaking usage of some weapons, including the nuclear weapons. The retarded boy who got his hands on the homebrew of extreme potency that causes the mutation and work like a power-enhancing drug for the military soldiers. Completely illegal and dangerous for your health. War crime number 4. Even though we think that the nuclear weapons are the fully prohibited, there are still countries with the nuclear warheads, but there is only 8 countries like that. And what you expect? Monkey country also has the nukes. They also have the napalm. Napalm is one of the cruelest things you can come up with, and they don't even flinch by using this. Napalm is the burning substance that It burns pretty much through anything, and it makes it very, very gory, I would say. The napalm mortar that violates all the legal agreements between the nations to stop using the weapon because of its burning properties. It literally burns through anything in the matter of seconds. Just look at this smug, genocidal smile. War crime number 5. So now that we afforded the napalm, we need to commit even more war crimes. We will cause the genocide. The discrimination is our last name and our first name is the maniac. Maniac discrimination is what we should be called, because this time we are using the most freaking forbidden war crime weapons. The napalm mortar is already bad enough, but we will get even worse upgrades. But for now, just check out my impeccable mortar micro for the round 63, because we need to save up a few more dollars to get the tier 5. The weapon that should not exist. The napalm mortar powered by propane injections that make the pool of molten rock and fire last much longer and burn with the temperature of 3000 degrees Celsius. This war criminal monkey needs to be stopped. War crime number 6. Now, the scariest weaponry in the forbidden war criminals' weapons is of course the napalm mortar. This one is powered up by the propane injections that make the ground to be burned even hotter than the regular napalm, almost of the temperature of the surface of the sun. And this is freaking dangerous. But look at this. This mortar doesn't even have any weaknesses at this point. He just annihilates everything, and we afford the nuclear warhead. The nuclear weaponry has been banned from most countries in the world, but monkeys got their hands on the extremely dangerous warheads to destroy the enemies and to leave no trace of their existence. War crime number 7. You might argue that the warheads may be illegal because Russia, China and US owns them, but no, they are not, and we will abuse them because of it. And now it's time to get another forbidden weapon, which is not even in the technology of our realm and our humane technologies. It is the necromancer, the summoning of the dead. We will employ the dead bodies of our enemies to do our biddings. The most criminal thinking I can ever come up with, and we use their children, we use their bodies to kill their parents, because we are the freaking war criminals. We have no code of honor, and we will not stop a literal necromancer that summons the walking dead to fight on his behalf. This violates the human rights of the dead, which makes the Prince of Darkness a latent criminal who deserves to be punished. War crime number 8. Prince of Darkness is probably the darkest thing that we can find after the napalm mortar, of course. And if we are being serious, this mortar is ridiculously good. As you can see, if you just micro it slightly, it's very good. It also destroys all the fortified limbs, because he defortifies basically everything, even the DDTs. Caltrops might not seem like a war crime, but in the Vietnamese War, they were used to pierce the boots of the soldiers and are considered a dirty tactics, which can be called a war crime. War crime number 9. Caltrops. Caltrops are very dark thing in the Spike Factory. We will also use the dark jungle tactics, where we use the traps, where we use the different things to stun the enemy and to pierce through their skin to get the best results. War crimes are the thing that cannot be tolerated. This is why we are exactly committing them right now. The ball lightning, the dark magic part of this game which can never be explained by the human technology. Dirty tactics of using Nikola Tesla's weaponry blueprints to create their own weapon with the dark magic involved. The druids are genocidal monsters who will not stop before anything to achieve their goal of guarding the forest. Even the war crimes can be committed. War crime number 9. But druids actually got it. And we're almost there. The prohibited weapons are extremely good at dealing not only with the regular balloons but with the blimps, and one of the most cruel parts of this game is of course the mortar and the necromancer. Think about it. Now we will employ the balloon trap, which is of course prohibited by the conventions, because look, with the balloon trap you actually trap the balloons, or basically your enemies, the enemy soldiers, with their lives, their families, their honor, and you kill them by squeezing them into the vacuum. So scary. And the Plasma Monkey fan club will soon be afforded. Also one of the strongest things in the game. The temperature of surface is 5500 degrees Celsius. The temperature of sun core is 15 million degrees Celsius. The temperature of plasma is 150 million degrees Celsius. If this is not a war crime, I don't know what is. And now it's time for the bad balloon, but with our prohibited weaponry, nuclear warheads, the ground freaking zero, the napalm mortar, the plasma of the temperature of 150 million degrees, the dark magic with the Tesla's weapon, the undead army that does our biddings, the caltrops, the toxic caltrops that kill all the enemies in their legs, the ice towers that freeze the enemies completely, and the freaking dumb boy that actually has the homebrew that makes it a very effective steroid against the enemy. Victory. Okay guys, press the like or dislike button right now, depending on what you think about this video. If you want to see part 2, let me know in the comments, this is very important. Subscribe now, press the bell notifications down below, and see ya in the next one.